Hey everybody, how you doing? Jeff here with All Keys Pro. Today I want to talk to you about time, and not musical time, but time. Time is definitely a concept which has changed a lot in this last century. Hey, there's my cat. My cat's in the video. Hey George, what's happening? He's sitting at my Hammond organ. All right. So, the concept of time has, I think, changed a lot because of, well, basically because of Einstein and the idea that time and space are sort of related, and it's much more of an elastic concept than we ever thought it was before. It's not just like seconds and minutes ticking by. And why the heck am I doing a video about time? Well, I was watching a synth punk video, and someone had replied to something he said and called him a boomer. A boomer. And it was derogatory, and I just thought, that's so bizarre that someone would think of that as a derogatory comment. I've never thought of life that way. I've never thought of time that way. I've always felt like I've always been honored to play music, work in the studio with people who were older or younger than me, to get different perspectives and what's important to certain people, what's important. And what I've actually found is age has very little to do with what people want or what people like. It's much more of an individual thing. So we've made these generational sort of categories, and I think they're pretty arbitrary. I guess they sort of correspond to certain historical events, but yeah. So I'm going to list these for you. I didn't know what these were. I didn't care until I started thinking about all of this. So the first generation, which is relative to us living on this planet now, is the greatest generation. So the greatest generation was from, I have to look at my notes, 1904 to 1924. That's pretty much 100 years ago, or a little more than 100 years ago. Many of the people in World War I and World War II were from the greatest generation. Then comes the silent generation. The silent generation is 1925 to 1945. So that's sort of like between the wars and then to the end of World War II. And then is the baby boomers, which was after World War II. That was 46 to 64. I happen to fall into that category. After the baby boomers came Gen X. Gen X just sort of sounds bad, doesn't it? I don't know why. I don't know why they have that categorization. So that is from 1965 to 1980. If you were born between those years, you're a Gen Xer. And then came the millennials. The millennials are 81 to 96. And then Gen Z, which is 97 to 2012. And then Gen Alpha, which are little kids, 2013 to present. So I just want to address the sort of idea that being referred to as a boomer is an insult. And I have to tell you, I've never really thought this before, but when I think about it, I have a lot of happiness, a lot of happy feelings, and actually a lot of pride about being in that generation. Being a synthesizer guy and loving the synthesizers that I that I do love so much, the Prophet, the Moog, the Oberheims, the ARPs. I've kind of owned all of these at one time or another. The Korgs and the Yamahas kind of came a little bit later, but it's been this amazing sort of colorful history of synthesis that I've been able to experience and see firsthand, and see it like come out and see people be excited about it. So I started sort of researching the birth dates of sort of the fathers of some of these synthesizers, like of course Bob Moog. So I thought, well, he's a boomer. Actually, he was born in '34, which would put him as part of the silent generation. And actually, most of the people who I love and adore, the synth makers, were a part of that generation. And then as the baby boomers kind of came around and sort of started to come of age, the silent generation was at an age where they were starting to make a lot of a noise in the business world, right? And they were starting to know enough to be successful. So yeah, Bob Moog is 1934. Alan R. Perlman from ARP Music, of course, was actually earlier, 1925. Let's see, Tom Oberheim was 1936. Let's see, Don Buchla was 37. Dave Smith was actually 1950, so he's on the edge of being a baby boomer. And Wolfgang Duran wasn't a name I really knew, but I wanted to research sort of the founder of Waldorf because I actually have a new synthesizer. I purchased a Waldorf Iridium. Check it out, the Iridium. Yeah, this little quick start manual is in German and English. So Waldorf is a German company, and they have a history of making just great stuff. So anyway, Wolfgang was born in '56, so he's about my age. I was born in '57. So I just really feel that it's sort of important to get over our age and to think of ourselves in one of these categories or another. I think it has little or nothing to do with how we relate to the world. And if anything, identifying too strongly with a certain generation, I think, is really limiting and maybe even crippling as far as us being artists. Since time is actually a very subjective and elastic concept, I think that age is too, actually. They say that you're as old as you feel, and I used to think that was silly and stupid, but as I get into my 60s, yeah, I think that's probably true. I just feel like that again, associating yourself with a generation that we subject ourselves to this hype, and it's an oversimplification and a generalization. To me, people are people. You know, I've learned so much by playing music with musicians who know more than me and who are older than me and who know more tunes than me and know how to make something swing or feel funky or good, or and know how to play something for a crowd in a way that I never would have thought of. And if you're paying attention, that's actually school. That's grad school. That's where I learned mostly what I know about music, is in situations like that. So I always, and that's such a valuable thing to get to be in that situation where you are working with someone who is really a mentor to you. And now I'm at an age where I'm a mentor, and I take it pretty seriously if there's If there's a student who's sincere and really wants to know stuff and I feel like I can help them, I will. Has nothing to do with money or time. It just has to do with caring about another person who has a real sincere desire to be in the arts, to make music, to maybe play synthesizers, program, write tunes, whatever that passion is. But you know, one thing I've really learned is that we're all just people, and we all have different backgrounds, and we all kind of deal with life the way we deal with it, the best we can, and that's really a gift. But I just want to say that not all suburban white women are Karens. Not all Southerners are rednecks. Not all New Yorkers are rude. In fact, having lived in New York, I can really assuredly say that New Yorkers are some of the warmest people I've ever known in my life. Tough, yes. Honest to a point of sometimes it's not comfortable, yes, but I love that. I love New Yorkers. And I also lived in Texas for a while, and I did not find the whole redneck thing to really be a deal down there. I mean, I associated with lots of really interesting, open-minded, artistic, smart people in Dallas, Texas. I'm really grateful for my time there. Not all Midwesterners are conservative. I'm a Midwesterner. I'm about as far from conservative as a person could possibly be. Not all music tech students know nothing about harmony. Although, as a rule, I wish that music tech students were more open to harmony. Just learn about chords, guys. Just learn about chords. Just learn about how they move. Just learn about how to write a melody and what makes melodies work. And this one's kind of for myself. Not all jazz musicians are musical snobs. I've been called a musical snob. I think right when I got out of college I was. I think living in New York, living in Denver, playing with all kinds of different musicians, I've learned that there's so much to be learned and so much to be offered by different genres. There's so many people who are so excellent. So I just want to read a little thing that I wrote. And I'm going to read it because I don't want to mess it up. My advice is to learn from your history and learn what your history is. Find your humanity. Release judgment. Let go of your arrogance. Stop with the blaming. And just open up to knowledge and beauty and love and generosity and generosity and generosity. Be open to the aesthetic experience. You might be surprised where you find it. Find new music to inspire you. I think that should be our daily goal, to just be open to stuff. I find myself not being open to new music, and it makes me mad at myself. So find music, find new music that inspires you. Try to find a way to learn what that music is and then incorporate it into your music. Your music will be richer and more interesting because of it. Practice your instrument and share what you know with everyone. So that's my little rant on time and generations. So just know out there in YouTube land, if you call me a boomer, I earned every one of these gray hairs, brothers and sisters. It didn't come easy, but I love being a boomer. And wherever you are in life, I hope you love being there too. All right, now go out and make some music. Go out and make some music. Peace out. Oh, and please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I'd love to keep this channel going. It's a, it's a, it's a real pleasure for me to make these videos and think about sending them out to you guys. So, like and subscribe. Now go make some music.